I started playing football in middle school and just fell in love with it.
Elisha Cadillac Harris describes his life growing up as challenging. As children, he and his brothers worked on the family farm. This required he feed more than 100 hogs each morning before school, and when needed, pick crops by hand.
I can remember picking 30 bushels of cucumbers, and one of the rows was as far as you could see. So that kind of living, and then not having indoor plumbing until I was a junior in high school, just made me a different kind of person. And so learning how to tackle hogs and getting them back to where they needed to be became very easy for me as a football player to tackle a person. And so the conditions unknown to me at the time that I hated was actually one of the driving forces that caused me to really fall in love with playing the game.
In fact, it was his middle school football coach who gave him the nickname Cadillac.
At the time, unbeknown to me, I was his running back and linebacker and tight end in different formations. And I got in a couple games, and one in particular, I looked a mess, and he ended up having to give me another jersey. And he said, "Boy, you know what? You run just like my car, an old Cadillac, all beat up and dent up, but it gets me where I need to go. You do that for our football team." And the name stuck.
Cadillac would go on to play for Kempsville High School.
I was the only African-American kid on my team my senior year in high school, and I was elected captain of the team. And that was quite an experience in and of itself.
He would spend his college career playing for the Norfolk State University Spartans.
I really wanted to go to a HBCU, and after a big football game against Kellum, in which I was able to intercept a pass and score the winning touchdown, my coach told me that Norfolk State wanted to see me Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. And after I took that visit, I didn't want to go anyplace else. I knew that was home.
But with college football came injuries, both to his shoulder and his knee. And even after rehab and taking time off, Cadillac says he wasn't as fast as he'd been. But that made him smart.
It made me to become a coach because I had to dissect what the game plan was and decide how best to move from my position and take proper angles as an outside linebacker, defensive end.
He got a free agent trial with the Dallas Cowboys, but didn't make the team. So he returned home to coach and teach. But his dream of becoming a head football coach would be an uphill battle.
I had tried for 7 years to be a head football coach, and I happened to be in Virginia Beach. And so there was some pushback in that area, just a mindset that there were administrators and people of power who felt like the city wasn't ready for a head black football coach yet.
He credits mentors like Dick Price, Wiley French, and Tommy Rhodes, who continued to advise and encourage him.
I had been turned down from the job at Princess Anne High School, and Wiley French, who was my principal, took me down to the superintendent's office, and he said the superintendent wanted to meet with me, and he told me that I was the most qualified candidate for the job, but I can't give you the job because the city's not ready yet. And if you go over to Princess Anne High School, that principal is going to fire you as soon as the first white parent complains.
Cadillac had won 2 state championships coaching track by the time he got the job as Green Run High School's first black head football coach in 1988. He would remain in that position for 7 years. He became emotional when he shared what his friend Tommy Rhodes once told him.
He said, I hope you don't take this person, but I wouldn't want to be black for anything in the world because of what I've seen you go through. It's an emotional moment just to live it.
Cadillac would later serve as head coach at Maury and Indian River High Schools. He would spend 42 years as an educator and coach before retiring in 2021. And on August 26th, all he's given to sports was recognized when the Green Run Football Stadium was named after him.
God, you've taken me from not being able to be a coach to now the place that I labored in is now being named after me. I couldn't ask for any more. I couldn't be more filled.
Cadillac is credited with coaching hundreds of athletes who went on to play college football, 5 who played in the NFL. He describes his ability to coach and spot talent in athletes as a gift.
It's just something that God has given me, a gift to be able to see the potential that an athlete will have and then be able to give them the tools that's necessary for them to be successful at their craft. I try to give kids tools that they can be successful for a lifetime. And I love it when they come back and tell me that they're still using the same things as a father and the same things that they've learned on the field, and they use those application in life. And that's a reward that's priceless.
For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.